Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone, this is chapter 10 of the Chrysalids, the novel we are dealing with. In chapter 10, we'll talk quickly about David and Rosalind. They are in love. They became more than teenagers now. But their parents, Joseph Storm and Uncle Agnes, are not in good terms. So we can imagine or expect that they will not agree for the two to marry. So they will be like Romeo and Juliet in this matter. Anyway, also about marriage, one of the telepathists, Anne, who is older than Rosalind and David, of course, decided to agree to marry Alan. Who? Alan? Is he the same person who reported Sophie? Yes, he is. So now the group of telepathic are in trouble. And I said are because now they are in different situations. They are not dealing with the matter as a group. And in one side and the others in another side. Anne thinks that she has the right to marry whomever she loves, and anyway, they cannot marry from each other. I mean the telepathic group, because there are 5 females and 3 males. Okay, so 2 of them anyway will marry outside this circle. The group thinks that one with the power of telepathy has to marry another one from the same talent, because if you don't marry a telepathic guy, you are like married to a crippled person or a blind person. You have the ability to communicate through thoughts, but he is not. So you will be closer to the other members of the groups than this guy. Because you can share your thoughts quickly rather than express them in words. You can communicate, doesn't matter the place you were in. So anyway, that was like a long debate, and after that refused to listen to them, and she even decided to stop communicating. She stopped talking to them. She pretended she doesn't hear them. She discontinues communicating. Okay, David, feeling helpless, of course he will tell his only friend, Uncle Axel, about this. Anyway, Anne married Alan, and after 1 year, Alan was found murdered. He was found with an arrow in his neck. Okay, no one knew who the murderer was. Subsequently, Anne, of course, she was in great love with Alan. She became very sad. She refused to talk to Rachel, her sister. She accuses them all of doing so. She committed suicide. She hangs herself. Rachel and a neighbor found her hanging, and they opened her house. Luckily, Rachel found a letter that Anne wrote to the inspector, condemning all of the telepathic group, telling them by names, even Petra. But Rachel, however, destroyed the letter before anyone saw it. The neighbor who was with her was illiterate, so she couldn't read what was written. Luckily. In chapter 11, Petra would do the second of her calling, of her severe calling. While everything was normal in Waknak, Petra rode her pony into the woods and met a scary creature. We said that outside Waknak, the place is called Wild Land. In the Wild Land, you might find some animals who are deviant, monster-like, that came from the French or the Badland, maybe. Okay, so one of these creatures attacked the pony of Petra. Petra escaped and climbed a tree, but of course, seeing her pony being eaten by that monster, she couldn't help but screaming so loudly inside her mind. Okay, so she sends that scary telepathic cry. It was so loud, so strong, that forced all the telepathic group to leave whatever they are doing and jump to their horses and go quickly towards the place where Petra was. It was so strong that it blocks them from communicating with each other. If they can communicate with each other, they would say, okay, I'll got it, I'll do it. But they couldn't, resulting in their first meeting together physically from different directions, from different places. Their unintentional meeting catches the attention of another man who is suspicious of why all of them would have come to Petra's rescue. He himself could not hear any cry. It was a great distance. So he cannot understand how come all of them come together to rescue that girl, and he himself couldn't hear any cry, since he could not hear the telepathic screams that Petra gave off, of course. So the telepathic group agrees to make more precautions and get ready to escape. They will prepare some food and some clothes ready to be used anytime there is danger. Okay, what is the danger? Remember, this society cannot tolerate differences. So if they know that they can communicate in this way, they will be so much afraid of them, and they will not leave them alone. They will have to investigate and know how many they are and how this different ability they have work and so on. Meanwhile, David begins to teach Petra how to use her power. He told her, imagine there is a black well, and I'll send you in this black well something. So he sent her a thought of a fish and asked her, what did you see? She said a fish, and then a rabbit, and then so on and so on. But her problem is that when she got excited, she shouted or she cried in this telepathic way that nearly blinded the others. So they asked David to warn them beforehand so that they will not pay attention or they will discommunicate. Uncle Axel confirms David's fears that there are people who are suspicious of the telepathists. The man who was suspicious about them is asking about them. Of course, at the time of their meeting, he wanted to see their identities, so he knew their names. At the end of this chapter, Uncle Axel confessed that he was the one who killed Alan, because he suspected that Alan knew everything. So Anne told him before their death. He saw Alan in the church looking at Petra and Rosalind and David with suspicion. So he recognized that evil look and thought that these guys are in trouble. So he had to get rid of Alan. Unfortunately, in chapter 12, Sally and Catherine got caught, and they have been tortured. So they had to confess about Rosalind and David and even Petra. Of course, David was asleep. Rosalind tried to reach him. She couldn't, mashallah. So she reached Petra. Petra woke him up, said, communicate with Rosalind. Okay, and Rosalind shouted at him, "Where have you been? They called Catherine, Sally, and Catherine. Get up quickly." So he got up quickly. He asked Petra to get dressed and to get out silently, quietly. He got what he prepared of the blankets and some food. He met. He took one of the horses called Sheba, and they met Rosalind in the woods with her great horses, along with weapons and food. You'll find this part very funny because Rosalind was practical, very practical, while David is not practical at all. Michael, who has not been suspected as deviant, because when Michael reached their unintentional meeting, the man was already gone, so the man did not see Michael. So Michael now is playing like double agent. Okay, now the people of Waknak are searching for David, Petra, Rosalind. Okay, Michael is helping them, but he is trying to throw them off the way David goes. So if he knows from David that they are going east, he will say, "Let's go west," and so on. And of course will inform David about the circumstances. As I said, Catherine is tortured, and both Catherine and Sally are forced to confess that David, Petra, and Rosalind are telepathists. So that's why they came at night searching for Rosalind, David, and Petra. At the end of the chapter, Petra would give us a new discovery, that there are far away place called Zealand, and the woman from that far away place is trying to communicate with her. The woman is so infatuated by Petra's power because at her age it was not reported that a girl can communicate that long, that far away, that long. They are communicating like half of the world distance. So anyway, David and Rosalind thought that the place called Sealand because they didn't hear about something called Zealand. We now know New Zealand. So they insisted that it is S, not Z. But later on, Petra will tell them, no, Z, like the sound of bees. Petra is the only one who can speak with her due to the distance. The others, with their less ability to communicate, cannot hear it. So they have to communicate through Petra. These will develop later on, and it will have a lot of surprises. So we will see in next chapters. Thank you and goodbye.